is actually typing in the chat what city and state you are located presently, like where are you watching live from? And if you just happen to be traveling, that's cool too. So where are you joining us from? Type it in the chat. Okay, we have some Laurels. Laurel, Silver Spring, Clinton. Hey, Adrienne, Clinton in the house. That's what she said. Okay. More Laurel. Okay, awesome. North Laurel. Okay, Frank specific. Okay. You better shout out North Laurel. Awesome. Yes, welcome everybody. And I am expecting some new Sunday schoolers to join us. I'll be sure to welcome them in the chat as we see. But welcome back. Every month we host a live session of Sunday School Live. And I'm guessing by now you have been receiving these emails. And I wanted to know, let me see if this new person who joined us is in for the first time. A nice welcome. Okay, we're all here. Okay. But yes, either you open up your emails on Sundays to join us for Sunday school, or this is your first time seeing us maybe on a social media post, welcome. Sunday school is an invitation to deepen your practice on and off the mat, and it's a completely free offering that we provide every one Sunday a month. But I would be remiss if I did not mention a brand new offering that we're having starting this evening at 6:15, which is community prayer, led by Reverend Ryan. And so you'll see that on our schedule this evening online, completely free. Please share with your loved ones as well at 6:15. It's a brief offering, but super impactful, and would love to have you. Now, speaking of this Sunday school that we have, when is our next one? Our next one will be on July 20th, which is actually a day after our retreat that is coming up. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all there. If you want more information, which I'll spend some more time about it, it's called The Return. It's going to be at Seneca Creek State Park. The link is right there on the side. I'll drop it in the chat too, but would absolutely love to have you all join us for our one-day wellness retreat, where we will be beneath the trees. We'll have breath work that softens the edges, warming your skin with the sun, and quiet moments that help you realign and return. And since we are speaking about the return this month, our focus, our theme is also about the return. And that's what Sunday school is going to be about today. Now, when we think about returning, today we're focusing on community. So it's no mistake that we heal in relationship with friends, relationship with family, relationship with self. And even solitude is shaped by the spaces that we're held in. In order to have solitude, people have to also invite, accept, and give permission for you to be in that space of solitude, right? So community also assist in your personal space. For example, for those who may have kids or loved ones in the household, you even taking a moment to yourself required for them to also comply, right? So it's also a community. Thank you for allowing me to have my time, even though it may not be physically shared with you, but you're also acknowledging, right? So solitude is also shaped by the spaces we're held in. When we think about the return, it reminds us that belonging is part of the medicine. All of us want to belong to something, belong and share with something, whether or not it's a common interest, a common goal, a common liking or keen finding of something. But what's amazing about community, which often isn't discussed, is that community should not require performance. It simply asks for presence. Have y'all ever been in a space with someone you just sitting down, just quiet? And just watching TV, or just not even doing a thing, but just literally sharing space with them, that, and no word shared, maybe even a bag of chips shared or something. But in terms of being in community, that's all. It's just presence. Sometimes people just want to be in the presence of you, maybe just be in the space and just quiet. And this week, I want us to reflect more on who and what makes you feel the most seen. And we think about returning, we think about community. Who and what are those key players? So as we get into this, there are a few things I would like for folks to have in mind: creating a space that feels supportive. So blankets, socks, Where's Jemiah's stuff? Oh, Jemiah. Okay. Blankets, socks, all the things that you're covered in that makes you feel super comfortable. Remembering to breathe deeply. Feel your body feel supported beneath you as you inhale and exhale at all times. Notice your surroundings. Notice where you are. If you have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or even a glass of water, these moments of embodiment, when you start to notice maybe your body tensing or maybe a good memory or something that just your body gives you a signal, maybe a nice sip of water or a sip of hot tea can warm and tend to those sensations in your body. So being mindful of those. Also, text a friend and just say thank you. It don't even have to be something long. Just thank you. And as you know, when you receive those messages, they're always at the right time, right? So text a friend and just say thank you. This can happen now, it can happen later. You can text as many people throughout the day, but a thank you goes a long way. If you are considering and showing reverence to someone who has transitioned, light a candle in honor of your ancestors or chosen family. Not even the folks that you share blood with, but sharing kinship, sharing kin relationships with. Lighting a candle in their memory also is a commemorative act of peace, an act of love, an act of memorial, but community nonetheless. And let's do this all together, especially the folks in the room. I would like for us to take 3 breaths in, and as you whisper silently to yourself, I am not alone. So we are in the studio space together. There's a host of women in here who are on their way, their journey to becoming yoga teachers, and journaling is part of the yoga practice. And so as we are in here, you'll hear our breath, you hear our peace, and we're going to take 3 breaths in together. And I invite you folks in our virtual land to do the same. 3 breaths in and whisper silently to yourself, I am not alone. And keeping that same energy of the breath and the peace and the stillness as we transition into our breath work for the morning. Give yourself a moment to reflect. Give yourself a moment and space to pause. There's nothing else to do, nowhere else to go, but to be present with yourself and present with your breath. So let's begin. If you haven't already, blink your eyes shut, slowly, carefully. Blink your eyes or lower your gaze to a place that feels comfortable and safe. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth and soften your jaw. Release any tension that resides in the eyebrows, the neck, the shoulders, the elbows, or the knees. And just let your body settle into its most comfortable space. Noticing the coolness of the inhale and the warmth of the exhale. Notice the cadence of your breathing, whether it is full-bodied or shallow. Where else can you make space for yourself? Continue to take up space and continue to take in as much air as possible. And for the next 60 seconds, in stillness, simply listen. Softening every tender part of you. Breathing into the spaces that need the most love, the most attention, and the most care. Take a deep cleansing inhale in through the nose and a deep, even deeper exhale out through your mouth. Continue the deepness and the full of this breath that you have. And in this moment of pausing and reflecting, thinking about loved ones, thinking about community, let's reflect on a special moment, a special person, reflecting on who and what makes you feel the most seen. A hobby, an activity. This is what we'll spend time in today together for Sunday school. So let's take one more big breath in together. And exhale, release. So go ahead and grab whatever you choose to take notes with or write with, and we will make our transition into our first set of prompts. Now, for those joining us for the first time, is that in Sunday school, I give a list of prompts and you can explore them throughout the week. There's roughly between 5 or 6 different questions, but for today, I kind of categorize them and then you select one that resonates with you. So as I think about and contemplate more on space, I ask, who holds you when you return? Who holds me when I return? And there's 3 different prompts that you could connect that with. Who are the people that help you come back to yourself? Are there relationships that allow you to exhale fully? And how might you lean into those connections this week? So we'll spend about 5 to 6 minutes on this. You select wherever you would like to land, and they may even spill into the next question. It's perfectly fine. As we think about prompts, you think about moments of reflection, is that sometimes we spend that quick 60 seconds there, but it's also meant for us to carry into the week. So if you're considering the people that help you come back to yourself, if you're considering the relationships that allow you to excel fully, then also consider, how can you lean to those this week? Don't just think about them, connect with them. That text message I mentioned earlier, going out to lunch, or maybe even having a Zoom call, these are some things that we can contemplate. So for the next 5 to 6 minutes, spend your time free writing. Don't think too hard. Just let your thoughts flow. And we'll take another minute or so to try to close or seal up the thoughts around this prompt, but we'll have some brief discussion around it as well. Remember, you can always return back to these questions and spend more time in them as well. So if you're still writing, put a button right there. And I'm interested in the chat here and also in the room, which of the three prompts are the ones you lean more into today or at this moment? So the first one, you see the first question that we have, who are the people that help you come back to yourself? Second one is, are there relationships that allow you to excel fully? And lastly, how might you lean into those connections? So by show of hands in the room, 1, 2, or 3, and by show of types in the chat, type of 1, 2, or 3, which one connected with you this morning? Okay. A blend between 2 and 3, and online, mostly 2s. All 3, okay. Yeah, they kind of also connect to each other as well, but um, also noticing too is that when you think about community and think about really people, folks that can hold you, space that can hold you, that also may be something to consider that you may have not experienced, or maybe something that has a strained relationship, right? And so it's important to also identify the folks who are there to support, because this is the community that we search, that we seek, that we love and continue to be loved up on. And it's important that we intentionally are around those folks. And I wanted to honor it today to talk about community that upholds you, not community that holds you back. So let's talk about returning with those folks. How do we return with others? Because oftentimes we're in spaces that we don't want to be in because we feel like we have to be in them. And that can look like family. That can look like friends, longtime friends that you've had for eons and feel that you have to continue, right? So I want to take us a look at returning with others. Consider the following. Here's the next prompt. What does it mean to return to yourself with others? Where do you need more community care and where can you offer it? And what new rhythms are emerging in your relationships? Now that's going to take some time, right? But just identify one of the questions, one of the prompts, self-inquiries that makes sense to you at this moment. And remember, you have all week, all month, all year to consider this. Community is not built in a day. And redeveloping relationships is something that can take a lifetime. So we'll spend about 5 minutes here. As you're writing and reflecting, and I wanted to spend a little time in community care and the glorification of self-care and commodification of purchasing things to make you feel better has been kind of skewed in a sense of what self-care looks like. And sometimes self-care in media looks like grooming. It looks like spending money to look a certain way, right? But community care is a collective decision that is also a nice in delegation, is that where in your community can you help? And your community is as small as your network. It's where can you help them lift the load so that they can help you lift the load. That in turn helps you take care of yourself more than the individual aspects, because if you think about, I'll say something as childcare, for example, right, is who helps me allow to do this, right? That's community care. So I give thanks to my family, my friends who were able to watch and care while I am serving community, right? Who helps you when you are in this bind, right? You think about a little bit, in a few hours, I'll be attending a graduation ceremony for one of my close friends. And it's a celebration of, yes, of her son, but it's her community that held her up as a single mom. Right? It's that, yeah, we're happy for him. We happy, congratulations, right? But I'm proud of you, right? And she's celebrating her tribe for helping her through this. So that's what community care is too, right? Is that who are the folks? Who's your tribe? This takes a community to really see someone cared for. And no matter how many bath bombs you can get, they're lovely. But you know what feels good is having support, right? What feels good is being able to sleep comfortably at night, knowing this person is cared for, taken care for, and so many things. And so returning with others is that segment, is what does it mean to return to yourself with others? But it also requires us to also ask for help, which may not be so easy, but it goes a long way. But then you got to figure out who to ask for help, right? So the dynamics of friendships, family, kinship can be quite challenging, but if you ask the right questions and spend the right time kind of cleaning up this, you should or hopefully be able to connect with the right folks. I think sometimes we just don't ask the right questions and expect things out of folks, when some people can offer just this and that can go a long way. Know your personnel, know what they can do, and know what you can do to be reciprocal. And that's how we return with others. Sorry if I just spoke the entire time y'all were writing, but I felt it on my heart to share it. But as we're considering about returning and what it looks like in community, these are factors I want to share. So I'm looking at the time and I feel like I've spent a lot of time talking, but I do want to close out with breathing. But remember, these prompts are available to you all week. And if you want to dive into this all month at our studio, we are focusing on this theme, the return. So taking our meditation classes, joining us in our mindful moments, we have an insight space, but also our retreat is about return. So let's honor that and continue to deepen this practice. So let's come into our breathing to close this out here. Get comfortable again. Let's reflect on what you've considered, what you have annotated, what you've typed down. Taking in 3 deep cleansing breaths and deep cleansing exhales. Take up space, take up time. No rush. Deep breath in, cleansing breath out. And again, deep breath in, cleansing breath out. So I want us to stay in this space even if you're at home. I often tell folks in sharing in classes is that that transition time between like logging off and going back into your space can be quite wonky. And I actually want to continue to absorb this space because a lot of things were laid out on the table. And it's not something you can easily transition to. It's something you may want to sit with some more that far exceeds when I press in Zoom. Often I give y'all homework and the homework is Sunday school, but I want to put into praxis what community feels like and looks like, maybe this week you want to invite someone to practice with you, virtually, in person. Maybe you want to share with them an offering. Maybe try walking with them together, doing a mindful activity together. Let community become part of your sacred return and have no expectations. The invitation is just enough. Now, as we continue to sit with this, I want to remind you all to save the date for the next one is July 20th. And then we have 2 more after that. So save those dates. And if you're able to join us, I would love to see you on the 19th. And I want to give another reminder for our insight space. If this is your jam and you're enjoying introspect, you enjoy silence, you enjoy stillness, or time to really do self-inquiry, then I feel like the meditation space could be your tribe. We have offerings every day, some twice a day, and one of those included today on Sundays. We typically have 2 offerings along with Sunday school, but tonight, if you're available, is 6:15, our community prayer. So join us on the insight space, join yourself within, and I thank y'all for showing up at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning for Sunday school. Please sit for the next 60 seconds to 5 minutes in stillness. And I am thankful for your presence. I'm thankful for everyone showing up. And I'm here online if you want to chat some more. So thank you all. And welcome for the first time, Jasmine and Adia. Happy to have y'all at SANKOFA. Thank you, Sonia. I'm glad you are enjoying Jemiah. Peace, everybody. I'll see y'all soon.